Hi everyone, it's Emily, and today I'll be going over all of my April pickups, which mostly consist of PS Vita and Nintendo Switch games. So before diving into all the PS Vita and Nintendo Switch games, I did pick up a PS4 Collector's Edition. So this is something I've already featured on the channel, and this is AI The Somnia Files Nirvana Initiative Collector's Edition for the PS4. And this was basically like new. It was still in the shrink wrap. I think the only reason why it was in the Amazon warehouse section was because it did come with a little bit of damage in the corners on the box, which is sort of what I was expecting. But I was mostly just picking this up for the Pop-Up Parade figure that came inside. So this is Iba, who was one of my favorite characters in the first game, as well as the small but nice art book and the soundtrack. So I think this is a really good tactic if you're interested in owning some collector's editions, but you don't want to either pay MSRP or above that. Amazon Warehouse is, I think, a good alternative if you don't really mind the box isn't super pristine. Next, I'll share all the PS Vita games that I picked up. So in total, I picked up 3, though 2 of them sort of go together. So the first game is one that I've been just dying to have in my collection, especially on the PS Vita. So this development company has quickly become one of my favorites, and I finally own Odin Sphere on the PS Vita. So this is a side-scrolling action JRPG that originally released on the PS2, but Atlas brought it over to remaster it on the PS Vita and the PS4. I think along with 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Odin Sphere is one of Vanillaware's most popular games, and I'm really excited to finally play it. And I just love Vanillaware's artwork, and gameplay looks a lot of fun. From my understanding, it has a very similar playstyle as Miramasa, and I do have that also on the PS Vita, so I'm really happy to have both of these and finally delve into this game that I've heard just nothing but good things about. Now, the other 2 PS Vita games I picked up sort of go together as a set. So the first one is Move Love, and this is a lighthearted rom-com visual novel. And I hear this first part is quite linear and a little bit on the generic side, but I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this entire series, and I do hear that you want to sort of go through this just to get an understanding of the characters and the setting, and then you'll want to move on to the next one, Move Love Alternative, which it turns into this really cool sci-fi story. So I'm really excited to get to these visual novels eventually. I'm not too sure when I'll be able to play this because right now I'm trying to finish up the Phoenix Wright trilogy that was released on the Switch. I think the plan right now is to play through the first game and then switch to a different visual novel and kind of have a little rotation going and sort of play that simultaneously with another perhaps longer JRPG or a different genre of game, just to kind of balance it out and to squeeze in these visual novels that I really love, but they can sometimes be a little bit hard to fit in when you're playing so many other games. So I'm really curious to see how this game sort of evolves from the very lighthearted rom-com to a more serious and interesting sci-fi story. And I'll definitely share my thoughts once I get to these. So I didn't say, but all of these PS Vita games I bought secondhand on Mercari, and they had the most competitive prices I've seen for these titles, even compared to eBay and some other websites and stores. And these Move Love games I actually bought as a set from a fairly new seller. And one of the cool things about Mercari is that they do sometimes promote new sellers by offering coupons as sort of a way to boost sales for new sellers. And then Odin Sphere here was around $70, which is, again, on my upper end of what I'd be willing to pay for a PS Vita or some of these harder to find and expensive games. All right, so now on to all these Switch games. So first up is a game that I've already featured on the channel already, but unfortunately it's from one of those limited release companies that released the game without the latest patch. And unfortunately, the version that they did release had a game-breaking bug in it, and that is Gato Roboto. And so this is a very short but sweet Metroidvania game, and I haven't played it yet because I was waiting for this new cart to arrive. And so this is another version of the cart that is supposed to be fully patched over, and there should be no downloads that are necessary in order to play the game. So I just wanted to quickly make an update that Special Reserve Games, who was the one that had published this game, and I got the Special Reserve version of it, did come through with providing the revised game cart with the full game on it. So this is a short but sweet Metroidvania game, so I'm excited to finally play it, and I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with the old game cart, because I just plan on switching my copy out with this newly revised one. And speaking of limited release publishers, I picked up another game from a different limited release company, and that is from Super Rare Games, and I picked up Islet. So Islet is described as a wholesome Metroidvania game, and you'll soon notice a trend with this Switch haul. But I've been trying to get more into Metroidvania games because it's a genre I haven't really dived into. I've done some 2D action platformer games, which I guess is the closest I've done to Metroidvania games, and I've also played the 3DS Metroid game, Samus Returns. I haven't completed that game. I put it on the backlog when I got distracted with another game, but it's a genre that I've been trying to get more into. And when my friend Alien Wonderland, who is a big Metroidvania fanatic here on YouTube, was hyping up the release of this game from Super Rare Games, I knew I had to scoop up a copy because unlike some of the publishers, like Limited Run or Special Reserve Games, they don't have an open-ended pre-order period. They just make a limited number of copies and then release them to the public. So I'm glad to have snatched up this game and give the kind of more cozy, wholesome Metroidvania title a try. I believe this dev also released Shippo, which I think Limited Run released as a retail game, so you can still buy it on their Amazon storefront. So depending on how Islet goes, I might try to snatch up Shippo too sometime soon. And then for the other Metroidvania title that I finally picked up, I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't played Hollow Knight yet. So I got this off of the Best Buy sale. I think they put this on clearance or on sale for $17. Regularly it's $35 through Fangamer and on the Best Buy site. So something that Fangamer did and that they've also shared on their website is how to identify which version of Hollow Knight you own. On the channel, I've talked about revised Switch carts that include all the updated patches on the physical game carts. And Hollow Knight is one of the games that had this done. And what was really cool was that Fangamer told you exactly what to look for on the back of the game case to tell whether or not the copy you have has all the latest patches applied to it. So I was really pleased to find out that I had the revised game cart version because I had the yellow screenshot on the back. So with all these new Metroidvania games, I do hear that Hollow Knight is one of the best, and I'm very excited to finally play it. I really like the art direction and just the atmosphere of all the gameplay I've seen of the game. And of course, the overwhelmingly positive things I've heard about this game. It just makes me really excited, and I'm hoping to get to this before Silksong is actually released. When that's going to happen, no one knows. But thankfully, the wait hasn't been so painful for me because I've yet to check out Hollow Knight on my own. So we will see how this one goes, and I do hear this one is quite difficult, but I guess, again, we'll see how it goes for me. Then I'll end with another game that I've already featured on the channel, and that is Transistor, the Collector's Edition for the Switch. So I've mentioned this a few times on the channel already, but I'm a big fan of the Supergiant games, and I own all of them digitally, so I've been slowly trying to build up my physical collection for their games. And so this was a fairly early Switch release that Limited Run Games did. This is number 39, and it does have a different cover variant than the Best Buy version I have. So I'm really tempted to keep both because I really love Transistor. I think the art direction, the atmosphere, and music were just spot on, and the gameplay was just really fun and addicting once you sort of got a hang of it with the time delay system and all the different special powers you could obtain when you interact with different individuals throughout the game. Thankfully, I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for this collector's edition. I actually bought this on eBay, and it was from a seller that I would say packed this super well. It's probably the best package I've received in the mail of any collector's edition ever. I was very impressed, and it's a beautiful box. So there are these two really cool enamel pins, and this ring that you could actually see on the outside of the box, which I thought was neat. And I don't really want to take it out because I really do like how it looks peeking out in the front of the box there. Sort of a shame that I'm keeping it in there. But there's some other things like some postcards and coasters and the soundtrack, which is amazing. So I was really pleased to get this for a pretty good price considering what some of those limited run collector's editions go for nowadays, especially on the Switch. So those are all of my April pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm hoping for the next couple months that I could shift my focus away from the Switch. I have some pre-orders and some highly anticipated releases actually. There's a lot of new games that I want to get on the Switch, but I'm sort of waiting for the prices to go down a little bit, just because for playing, I'm probably going to be in Tears of the Kingdom for the next month or so. And then come July, I'm going to have Trails into Reverie, which is going to be my main focus when that releases. And I want to get through some visual novels in between all that. So I feel like my plate's going to be very full, so I don't want to buy a lot of new releases that are just going to be automatically put into the backlog there. And for those who may be wondering, I did play Future Redeemed, the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, and it was amazing. I'll have more thoughts in a future video. It'll probably be a while from now, but it's probably one of the best DLC packages I've ever played, and I'm really sad that they didn't release a physical copy of the game. I'm hoping maybe they'll do like a repackage with the full Xenoblade Chronicles 3 game plus Future Redeemed all in one package, but I kind of doubt Nintendo's going to do that. Maybe in Japan, but in the West, probably not, unfortunately. But I'm really happy with how the Xenoblade series wrapped up with that DLC, and it was just very satisfying. And I'm very much looking forward to see what Monolith Soft is going to do next. And when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom, I'm waiting for my collector's edition to arrive sometime today. It should be here at any moment. I think I'll do a separate unboxing and first impressions video. It's definitely going to be late, so I'm probably not going to get to it till like Monday or Tuesday. So just as an FYI, but I'm really excited to finally get into that. I've heard nothing but good things so far. So when it comes to consoles, I really want to focus on the next coming months. I want to pick up some more PSP games because right now I just have 2, and there's quite a number of exclusive PSP titles, especially in the JRPG genre. I want to pick up at some point. And I also want to grab some more Game Boy and Nintendo DS games. So we'll see kind of what deals I could find and whatever I'm in the mood for collecting at the moment. So let me know if there are any exciting pickups that you got this past month, or if there are any new releases that you're hoping to pick up soon. And until my next video, bye guys.